Hello, everyone. Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor here. Very special guest here. I haven't done these in a while, so I'm glad to be back in here, motivate many of you from home watching these videos. But my guest for today, mouthful. She is an international author and entrepreneur, international award-winning transformational speaker, global network, and ambassador. Marielle Scott. I say that right.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Okay,
Thanks.
good enough, good enough. So how are you?
I'm great, thanks. And yourself?
Very good, very good. Like I said, very happy to start doing these again. I need to get back in the role and doing them because they help a lot of people, including myself. I get motivated. So it's one of those kind of things. But so Marelli, right? Okay, I
It,
said it right. All right. So
it's
I know you
it's
through
close
the
enough.
well, correct me at any point if you want.
No,
I
no,
met you
no.
through the beautiful world of social media that we have, of course, and more so over the period of time. We share a lot of the same coaches and mentors, same platforms kind of thing. But for a lot of
Yeah.
people that don't know you, tell us about you.
Well, apart from my intro, I can honestly say at this point of my life, I can say I'm authentically me, and I'm doing really what I want to do, and I'm in line with my passion and my purpose. And yes, further, I'm Madly. I'm 33 years old, and I live in South Africa. Um, so it's great to be on your show.
Absolutely,
You being
absolutely.
based in America.
Yeah, the connections we
Okay.
make is phenomenal. I talk to people all over the world. I never would have thought I'd talk to people in Germany, Switzerland, Africa. I mean, it's awesome. Time change difference, of course. So even that's a challenge in a sense. But you
Yeah,
said I wasn't going to ask, but you said you're 30 years old,
33.
33. We're the same age. Wow, how about that?
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, well, which is weird. When I think of you 33, I think young. Me 33, I feel old, but that's
Wow.
crazy. So that alone, for those of you listening at home, 33 years old, and you heard me read her bio. Okay, when I think of motivation, that's all I need to hear to say. I need to step it up. I need to get it up and keep moving. So question I'm gonna start by asking is time. There is not enough time. It seems like no matter how you schedule. Now we do good at it. I'll try to be great at managing my time, but having so many titles, how do you manage your time?
Well, it is one of the most difficult things to do. And I think I've learned, especially this year, I've learned that I cannot do everything by myself. So
Mhm.
if something is not my strength, or it frustrates me, or it keeps me busy and not making money, then I need to outsource that, because then there's someone out there that actually does that for a living and likes doing it and are good at it. So that's one thing. The other thing I would say is stop trying to have everything perfect. Everything will not be perfect. You can get it as far as do perfect as you can, but it's more important to implement and take action. You can always change it on your way. You can change it a little bit. You can tweak something here or there, but just do it. Just get started and keep that momentum. So yeah, I think that's the two things I've really gotten to implement this year.
Now, I said before air, we make these videos to motivate, and we'll get into that, to motivate entrepreneurs, people stuck, or people trying to get into businesses, but they also benefit me. They motivate me. And already you're talking to me. That is one of my troublesome is that I don't know how to delegate. I better not. It's that losing control, which is a weakness. That's not a strength. That's a weakness. I got a long way to go, but I've slowly started to let go. So thank you for that reminder on that already. So
Okay.
great stuff. Too many times people think that people who are successful, it's almost like they were lucky. They were given it to them. Well, they grew up in money, etc., which is, most times they're not the complete opposite of that. What are some of the oppositions and challenges that you had to face that's coming up?
I'm so glad you're saying that, because it's almost a daily thing I think about. I have so many people in my life. I'll get to my answer now, but I have so many people in my life that mean well and everything, but they believe everything, just falls in my lap. Like my whole life, I've just been lucky to make the A team and stuff like that. And it's just, just know the right people. Just all opportunities come to you or people just like you. And it's not the case. I also have haters. But I would say my biggest my biggest obstacle that I had to not that I chose to overcome, which led me to where I am today, is I'll keep it very short, but in the middle of high school, we moved from a small town to the big city. And in this new high school, I didn't fit in at all. I was popular in the previous high school. I was doing well in academics and sport and everything. And then suddenly I was nowhere. I was just in a sea of other pupils. I struggled with academics. Sport went well, but I couldn't fit in. I just couldn't fit in with any of the groups, any of the fellow students. So I spent most of my breaks alone for those 3 years. And it got to me. It got me so negative. I started to become so introverted, I'm still an introvert, but I learned skills to overcome that we needed. But I got so insecure. I started thinking, I had all these loud voices in my head, and I started thinking, you're weird, you're a loser, like something's wrong with you. Why don't people want to be friends with you?
Wow.
And it's a vicious downward spiral that I got into. And soon I wasn't able to walk into a shop alone. I wasn't able to, my mom or someone had to go with me. I didn't want to, I thought people were staring at me and thinking I'm weird. I don't want to talk to a stranger. I just wanted to stay at home in my comfort zone. I didn't get an invite to a party, but in any case, I wouldn't have gone because I was in this negative cocoon actually. And towards the end of my last year, I realized, this is not who I am. Deep down, I know that I'm destined for greatness. Not that I think a lot of myself or anything like that, but I think we all have a bigger purpose in life. And I realized, what, university is waiting for me. New people, new opportunities, a new environment. So now it's up to me to start finding out who I really am and start living like that. And that's what I did. I just started pushing my comfort zone, taking, even if it's baby steps, keep on challenging myself, throwing myself in the deep end. And I had so many friends at university, real friends. I couldn't believe it. And I realized that I always was thinking that at school, they didn't want to be my friends, but I probably looked weird because I gave off the vibes that don't talk to me, like I'm not worthy to be your friend. And yeah, it was just a vicious cycle. But the biggest thing I would say I did was probably 3 years into a university, like my biggest fear, like most people, with public speaking. If I had to talk in front of the class, mixed with all those negative emotions, everything, I would start and shake. I would want to cry, my throat would twist almost. I couldn't, I hated it. It was so difficult for me. And then I realized, this is something you need to conquer. So I threw myself in the deep end at university as well, but more so also through the JT organization, there was an opportunity to speak for 1 minute in front of 1,000 people. And that was a very big leap for me. And I did that. And I was so afraid. And just before I went on stage, I realized I locked my car keys in the boot of my car, and it was all this drama going on. And I realized, what? Forget about this. This is your time now. You need to push your comfort zone. You need to swim now. And I did that. And from there, opportunities just opened. I got interviews on radio stations, got my own radio station. From there came the inspiration from my book. And, so I would say that's the biggest thing I had to overcome is public speaking.
Right. This is wonderful stuff. Great stuff. Thank you for sharing insight in you.
Okay.
I'm very much an introvert. Most people don't believe it. I was very much that way, and much like you, I just kept away from people. It seems now you mentioned a couple of things. You said you also have a lot of haters. Would you say that the more successful you become, the more haters that come around?
I think so, but also some pe- some people just, it sounds very vain and I don't mean it in that way, but some people just hate you because they see other people like you.
Hmm. No, that's very true. Yeah. And that's one thing that for sure, the more you do, the more you get out there, the more people know you, the more that is very true. I would agree that more people, they're not for you. And
Yeah.
as our coach would say, many times they can't do something themselves. They don't really care for seeing you to do it, an accomplishment. And I mean, some of these things you're talking about, you couldn't even go outside or go anywhere without your mom. You couldn't talk in public. You didn't want to talk to anybody. And now you're doing it internationally. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's success at its best. That's
Crazy.
that's great. Yeah, great to hear. And
Thank
these are
you.
the things that we can say you can accomplish them. You can do them, but you got to set your mind up to them, and it's not going to be easy. These things were not given to Morelli. She had to get out there and work for them. That was all there is to it. So get out of that comfort zone, and we're going to start talking about risk here in a minute. But real quick, why do you think so many people refuse to make changes? They choose to stay the same.
Well, I think it comes down, most of the times it comes down to comfort zones,
Mhm.
and fear of the unknown. And with that, which we'll get into, like you said, is taking risks. I think people are comfortable to know what they know, even if it's not really where they want to be today, or maybe they're living the life that they didn't really want, but they feel at least I know what I have,
Mhm.
and I'm okay to settle for that. So it's easier to settle than to step outside of your comfort zone and try something new. It takes a lot more effort to do that. And then you also have the people who think that they don't need to change.
Mhm. Yeah, I would agree. So what is taking risks for you?
I think that's making a decision today for something that will happen in the future without knowing what the guaranteed outcome will be. That for
It's almost like
me, yeah.
taking a leap of faith, really.
Yes,
You
exactly.
don't really know the outcome to its fullest, never going to anyway, but it's taking that first step, that action, okay, here it goes. So, okay, well, very good on that. Do you recommend more people take risks?
Absolutely. Every time you take a risk, and the bigger the risk is, the calculated risk, which I'll talk about now,
Mhm.
the bigger the reward will be. Every time you step out and take a risk, do something new, you never know what doors it will open until you get there. So if you open that first one, it leads to so many other doors that you never would have gotten to. But as a calculated risks is, don't just jump into something. You need to
Mhm.
kind of have some information that you work with
Yeah,
to
yeah.
somehow
Well, there is
have an
foolish.
idea how this could end.
Yeah, yeah. You have to know some certain of education or facts towards what you're trying to do, or it's just considered foolish. There is too wrong of that as well. But
Yeah.
well said, you take away risk, you take away opportunity. So, you can't have both. You got to try one for the other. And I would definitely agree that people should take more and more risks. I think people are very complacent, very comfortable, which even that
Yeah.
doesn't last forever, and they just go with it. And we see all too often things that happen against, something that they felt was secure. There's no such thing out there for that. So,
Yeah.
so I have to ask, as a speaker, and I've seen the stages you've talked to and some of the people you've been around with. Some of those are my direct coaches. That's awesome. You've been in rooms and on stages sharing with some of the most successful people. I can only imagine the positivity that's going around in the room or the stage. What is that feeling like being surrounded by so like-minded, successful people?
It's actually unreal. I can't help going back and thinking about where I used to be. Like
Mm.
every time I have to pinch myself
Yeah.
because I mean, many of these people are people that I listen to, that I still learn from, or that I looked up to. I went to events and I saw them on stage. So it's really crazy, but it also reminds me that anything is possible. You have no
Yes.
idea where your life can lead to if you just start taking risks and
Mhm.
go for it.
Absolutely, for sure. How important is it for people to surround themselves around positive people, like, going places, doing something?
It is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Like JT Fox always says, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with.
Mhm.
Um, I just think about when you come up with a new business idea or a new website or whatever, and you ask someone like your friends from university, or you ask your family, it's not a good idea. Or it's not always a good idea, because it will easily get you down, because they won't understand your vision or where you're going necessarily. And then they would just say something, not react the way that you wanted to, but just because they don't understand it, they're not on the same level. And it's so easy to get sucked in, and it's easy to get sucked downwards. So
Mhm.
when you're with people, and you know what I mean, it's not about think you're better than someone else, but if you only surround yourself with people who have a tunnel vision and don't want to go further, like their comfort zones, everything, it's much easier to get dragged down into that and start thinking, you know what, I'm a bit weird. I'm like, I think my ideas are a bit extreme, or it's. But as soon as you start, you see also with the JT events and everything, networking events as well. If you get with like-minded people, you realize
Mhm.
I'm not crazy. Actually, I'm thinking too small, and these
Mhm.
people are doing
Mhm.
this and that, and oh my word, I need to get started and stuff. And having those people to talk with as well and bounce ideas of everything, and especially in today's world where everybody's focusing on the negative and stressed, and they're thinking about the news and thinking about the pandemic and everything. Yes, that's a reality, but people who are positive and like-minded don't talk about it, don't stress about it.
Mhm.
We acknowledge it, but we see what opportunities it presents, what we can do with it, and we don't use it as excuses.
Right. No, that is great said. I've heard it best said, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Because your
Yeah, yeah,
surrounding
yeah,
is who
yeah.
you're going to become. So I definitely agree with that. And you added a note to it that I definitely want to touch upon a little bit more. Your friends, your family. Unfortunately, and this will happen all too often, is in different areas where I've wanted to be successful or change for something different for the better, I've had to lose friends and even family. They may mean well, they may try to help for their benefit, or yours or whatever it may be. They don't have this vision you do, and they're not going to be able to see what's desired for you to become. So, some of the biggest haters are family and friends. That's the unfortunate side. So you're going to lose some of those. Are you willing to take the risk in that as well? That's just part
Yeah.
of what has to come. So we'll set on that. The reason, like I was mentioning, we make these videos, it's always to motivate people, get that push. Sometimes, many times we just need that little drive. We wake up not feeling so good today, and we just need to listen to motivation to keep us up and going. What advice can you give to those burning time sitting on the sideline right now?
Um, I just want to ask them, like, sit and really think where you are today, and if that is, are you happy where you are today? Is it where you wanted to be at this point? If not, then it's already September. You need to
Mm,
get working and taking action towards your dream and your visions for next year already.
mm,
But you need
absolutely.
to start today, not tomorrow, because then you will never do it. And then you need to keep that momentum. And
Mhm.
and also if you're not financially happy at this point, maybe you're in a job and you're earning, you don't think you're earning your worth, you need to do something about it today. And not only for today, you need to think about your future and your legacy that you will leave, and for your children or whoever it may be. But you need to start working today to reap the benefits. You need to plant the seeds today to reap the benefits in the future.
Focus on your tomorrow by changing your today. Absolutely. You got to. So
Yeah.
nobody's going to do it for you. So one of those
Yeah.
many things that, a couple more questions for you. What is the definition of success to you?
To me, it is finding out your life purpose and being walking on that path and staying on that path, and because that will align with your passion as well, that will give you energy, you know, won't be effort for you, you will enjoy your life. And I feel like everything and favor and everything will flow towards you because you are in the right position. So although life is not perfect, but in all areas of your life, to be happy, not complacent. I'm done, I'm happy now. Keep moving, but still be happy and work on going forwards and making a better impact in every area of your life. It's not necessarily, obviously it's part of it, but it's not just about money and money in the bank, because you can be very unfulfilled and unhappy, but have a lot of money in the bank as well.
Well said. Well said. So many hats, so much success. You've done a lot, and I'm sure you're going to go on to do much, much more. You're far from finished. What is next for you?
Well, next I'm excited about, there's something I can't really talk about, but I'll be involved in some featured articles in a big global magazine that's coming soon. And what I'm also excited about is my online media platform, Authentic Entrepreneur. And we'll start the first, opening nominations for the first Authentic Entrepreneur rewards as well, one of these days, which I'm excited about because I feel it's an industry that people are not always recognized for. It's easy to be, although you have your network, your friends, you know, a lot of times it's like a lone wolf expedition. You're on your own journey and you're just focusing on doing your thing. And there's a lot of awesome entrepreneurs that don't always get the recognition they deserve. So I look forward to that.
Good. Awesome. Well, Morelli, it has been an honor, pleasure having you on here. I'm sure this video is going to motivate a lot of people. It definitely motivated me. I've been making notes in case you haven't noticed, so thank you for that. But any last message for anybody out there listening before we go?
I just want to reiterate what you said. Start today, take action for tomorrow, and not just tomorrow, but a few years down the line. Whatever decisions you can make today with the information you have, do that. And if you don't need to do the research yourself, it's even better if you can learn from someone more successful than you, someone who has been on that journey, someone who's got the t-shirt already. It will save you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of frustrations. Get involved, and also contact Jose as well. Obviously, I mean, if you're just wondering about investing in anything or your financial future, should you invest in properties or not, how much do you need, whatever, just find out from him. Contact him and find out and start.
Get out of your comfort zone and start taking risks. That's what she's saying. Yeah. Beautifully said. Absolutely. Well, Morelli, thank you so much for joining us on here. We will share this video with you, Millionaire Flix, YouTube, and we'll get back to you through Messenger. So thank you for coming on here with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you too. Bye.